Hello everybody, Logan here again for another Volpatick video. I'm going to do a little bit something different now with Rainbow Loom, but with Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, apparently we all know the real story. 5 kids got murdered. There was all these mysterious events. But I have found one key fact remaining from video recordings and a theory I have provided. The theory is, before I continue, can we at least hit 20 likes? If we can hit another 20 likes, and write in the comments what you actually want me to do, a Five Nights at Freddy's theory, if I ever get a recorder, gameplay, or Rainbow Loom. But anyway, back to the theory. My theory is that the 5 kids who were actually murdered, as we could see from the minigames from Five Nights at Freddy's 2, with the cake and the child outside the restaurant being murdered by the purple guy, a theory made by a YouTuber named Treesicle says that he was Golden Freddy, as we all know from Five Nights at Freddy's 4 minigame. Now, if you watch the minigame, you could see that Golden Freddy, or Nightmare or Fredbear, is always reminding the child that he hates the pizzeria, and that his brother is cruel to him. As we see no people in the game besides the brother, the child, and the brother's friends and other children. And, of course, the little Fredbear. Now, continuing with this theory, I believe I figured out that many theories have been resigning saying that phone guy is the purple guy. Well, I have a fact and proof that this is wrong. As we know, the 5 kids who got murdered, their souls chased the purple guy, as seen from the mini-game in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, to the Springtrap suit and killed him. Now, this was near 1987, the cause of the murders. Now, a few years later, Five Nights at Freddy's began, the first game. And we always hear phone guy, and he says, "I'm finishing my last week before you." And because he says before you, it means the recordings were from a week ago. Therefore, phone guy is still technically alive, but got killed by Golden Freddy, as you can hear the realistic jump scare. Now, as you presumably watch from Five Nights at Freddy's 4 minigames, the brother keeps chasing the child. He keeps scaring him with the Foxy jump scare, which is probably why Scott had Foxy's animation for him snapping his jaws at you in the 4th game when he's in the closet. Now, continuing with this, if you're still with me and not bored, sorry for wasting your time for this, but still, if you look, there's one specific thing that I just noticed. Remember how when the brother threw the kid, his own little brother, into Fredbear's mouth, causing what I like to say the bite of 87, no 83. Have you noticed that though he and his friends were wearing specific masks, it were Foxy, Chica, Bonnie, and Freddy. And as we know, the 4 children who got originally murdered went into those 4 specific animatronics. So, how did they know what they looked like if they were never shown throughout the whole entire minigame series? And what was with the Purple Man Easter egg in one of the minigames? Now, my theory is obvious. Those 4 his brother and his friends, are the 4 children who got murdered. Even though the brother felt sorry for hurting his younger sibling, he was still punished. As we can see, the purple man's still there. There's 3 key factors. The purple guy's still there. His friends and him were dressed up as the 4 animatronics who were later deemed the basic characters. And probably the most interesting fact, that the soul of Golden Freddy, or Fredbear, was already killed and put into the Golden Freddy animatronic. So, how can we tell that those 4 kids were the murdered kids? I would say the key factor. Phone guy didn't say 5 kids were missing. He did say there was the bite of 87. Now, it could be possible while this child's having these dreams, these nightmares, if you will. We've seen things on the dresser. We've seen pills, we've seen flower pot, we've seen apparently an IV. I've played the game before. I know how the game works. I have one question, and I want someone to at least try to think about this with no theory in mind, none. As we can see, there are 6 animatronics that are real. That are actually controlled by spirits. Golden Freddy, or Fredbear in this case, Foxy, Bonnie, Chica, Freddy. 5 spirits. Now, if those 5, even in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, are controlled by spirits, what about the puppet? People have been saying the 6th child is the puppet. Why do I believe this? The child's always crying. The last minigame on night 5 says that Fredbear, or the mini Freddy doll, says, "I will put you back together." Which animatronic do we know that can come to life and go after them? The only obvious reason is the puppet. Mangle, and the toys, even Balloon Boy, are robots. Completely recognizable robots. So, in conclusion, back to what I was saying before, Phone Guy can't be Purple Guy because they died at different times. Purple Guy was dead before Phone Guy was even done. Before Phone Guy died. And Phone Guy died a week before you took on the job. As we can hear from the recording on night 4. Now, the one thing that confuses me is what animatronic is Phone Guy? As we hear from night 5 on the first game, static. So, what theory can anyone create for me right now of who is Phone Guy stuck in? As we've seen, technically now, 6 kids were murdered. The puppet and the original 5 from the first game. So if those 5 are now in it, there's only one proof. This child is having nightmares of his brother and the others as the 4 nightmare animatronics. He was scared of Nightmare Fredbear, the animatronic who bit him in the head. Now, Plush Trap. Remember the mini game where you're walking around, you have to walk back home? The one thing you see, which interested me and I just realized, is that little doll. You walk outside and there's a child holding a Springtrap doll. And he says himself, the thing has locks. Spring locks. And what was it? If that happens, I have one question. Could Nightmare, the supposed shadow version of Nightmare Fredbear, actually be his own fear? Because as we've seen from the one minigame, he was inside of the closet, the supposed maintenance room, where in the first game, it's with all the heads. But in the minigame for Five Nights at Freddy's 4, he is literally there, stuck in this suit thing, with the actual parts of the animatronics. Who stuck him in there? His brother. Do we know who the purple guy is? Technically, we partially can. If you realize this, who could have killed the 4 kids? The 6 kids. The 6th kid, of course, being the puppet, but that was killed by the animatronic. The 5 kids of Fredbear and the other 4. It was Purple Guy. Now, because Purple Guy was there, At the time, the brother was scaring his younger brother, and the four of them were Az, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. The only reasonable explanation is their souls went to the animatronics. And this kid is having traumatizing nightmares of his brother giving Foxy the snap of his jaws in the game, scaring him. And all the other animatronics are the friends. So, how do the games go in order? It's Five Nights at Freddy's 4, then 2, then 1, then 3. So that's all the games in order. All the theory if you stayed up with me until now. So I thank you for that. But what do we know about this mysterious box? That I do not know. But what I do know is that he is scared of everything. And that's the reason, because in the first game you could find the picture in the hallway. The second game, by this I mean the puppet. You could see a picture in the puppet in the hallway in the first game, when it rarely occurs. You see the puppet in the second game as an actual animatronic. And in the third game, 30 years after 1, you see the phantom puppet. Okay. So the puppet's technically in the first 3 games. What about 4? We've seen all of the normal animatronics, but the puppet. We've never seen the puppet. And this child is always crying. That's the other reason he could be the puppet. The tears are of him crying, giving him his look. But, yeah, there's my puppy. But before, wait, is he alive? Yeah, he's breathing. Okay. Sorry if you're creeped out that I just said that. It's just that he wasn't. Looked like his breathing was weird. But what I find interesting would have to be the fact of the dog. There was no mention of a dog. We've seen from the cover of the game, there was only one house, which made this weirder. Whose dog barked in the 4th game? If someone could make me a theory and text me that theory, I would be pleased. But, seeing that time is going really far ahead, I'm going to end this video. So, thank you guys for watching. And if you're gonna ask me for any more theories, I'll even show you some of my drawings that I did of my anime characters for Five Nights at Freddy's. But if I ever do get a screen recorder, I'll play on my iPad. This is my iPad right now. I'll play the games in any order you want. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you later in my next video. But before I go, I would like to ask that we at least hit any views. I don't care if you like this, I don't care if you hate it, I don't care what you rate in the comments. I just want at least some views. So mention it to your friends, mention it to anyone. I just want some views for my channel, and maybe some subscribers, because this is my 2nd video. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you later.